All right, we are going into such a fun topic of mine. It is my expertise. Okay, it is the topic of chasing. I love giving you examples of how you are chasing without knowing you're chasing. I love. This is why this content gets millions of views because I love it. Because it's like so nuanced and so complex and so like deep and intricate for each and every single one of you, because you could literally be turning myself on do not disturb because I'm like, this is going to be a fire YouTube podcast, whatever you want to call it. We cannot be interrupted. Okay. Chasing, we have our 6 archetypes of chasing. I should bring them up here for you so we can go through them. Settling is what we're talking about today. Settling is a form of chasing. Did you know this? Were you aware? Don't lie, because I know you weren't. I know you weren't, because it is so subtle and unique. And this is why you are not healing your patterns of chasing, because you're not going deep enough. Okay? It's like no one understands the depths of our chasing because it is energetic. It's stemming from these wounded parts of ourselves, and it's going to be super nuanced for each and every single one of you. This is why in Union, I literally teach you how to heal these wounded parts of you, because you're all going to have different parts of you that show up. Like some of you are chasing because you're afraid of being alone. Some of you, it's because you don't feel worthy. Again, there's 6 archetypes. You could be a performer, you could be the illusionist, you could be the withholder, okay? You could be like the anxious chaser. There's so many different variations of chasing, and settling is one of the ways that you are chasing. Settling actually falls into multiple of our archetypes of chasing, okay? I almost want to bring them up right now, which I'm like, can we do this real quick? Yes, we can. You know why? Because it's in a document over here. For those who are listening, we are, we're going through my million tabs because I don't know why. There is no because. There is just a million tabs, and this is how I do it. So, okay. In our archetypes of chasing, settling could be identity chasing a little bit. So maybe you're like trying to be the perfect girlfriend. Maybe you're trying to be like the conscious, understanding woman. So you're like putting on this show of being really, that was my thing, being like so understanding, so loving. Okay. Little story. My dad, when I was like 3 or 4, left my life. I thought he left because he just didn't want to be part of my life. It's not until after he and both my mom had passed away that I learned some like little, sometimes I feel like my life is a movie. So it wasn't until after they both passed away that I learned from my dad's family that it was actually my mom who did not let me continue to see my dad. Okay. So like I lived in this illusion that I wasn't good enough, that my dad didn't choose me, that he didn't want me. But realistically, it was like my mom made a choice because he was a drug addict and obviously was not, in a stable place. She made a choice that likely was a very hard choice for him to not be in my life at that time. And then he did have times where he could have come back in, but again, his trauma and wounds prevented him. And it wasn't until my 20s that he and I reconnected. And then again, I lost him when I was 28. Okay. But with all of that being said, I developed this weird thing where I had like misplaced anger. So I was never angry with my dad for being there because there was this really deep fear that if I was angry with my dad, that if I wasn't compassionate, loving, understanding with why he wasn't in my life, that he wouldn't want to love me, wouldn't want to be with me. Versus my mom, I was like after she passed away, I must have spent like 10 years just in so much anger towards my mom for like my entire life, okay? And as you heal your mother and father wounds, you will see the girls in Union know, you go through like phases of like really not liking your parents, and then it's a process, okay? All this to say, I brought this energy to men where I would just be so overly compassionate to a man who wasn't treating me right. And it was because I was afraid to, be angry or set boundaries out of fear that he wouldn't love me. It was my inner child, my little girl, right? So that is like you're performing. You're like being really understanding and compassionate in order to be loved. Performing can also be like being the cool girl, being really chill, maybe you don't like that he goes to strip clubs, but you're like, I'm a cool girl. These girls, I don't want to judge, but like, babe, if this is you and you actually this is not true to you, get rid of this. Okay. These girls that are like, it doesn't matter where he gets his appetite as long as he eats at home. He won't have an appetite for the house if he's getting his appetite elsewhere. Crazy. They've actually done psychological studies that if you are consistently seeing a certain imagery, you're not going to like another imagery. So if you're consistently seeing like, a certain type of imagery, like at a strip club, and then you go home to your wife who has a totally different body type, it's actually very challenging to have an appetite, as people say, okay? So if you have that and it doesn't actually ring true to you and you're just trying to be the cool girl, trying to be the chill girl, oh, it's fine. Oh, my man wants to go on a boys trip. Gay. Boys trips are gay. Why are you going with your boys? Why are you going with a bunch of men in a hot tub on a trip? Somebody tell me when you have a woman to go with. Okay? I love this topic. I'm going way off, okay? I'm going way off. But like literally, someone make it make sense, okay? You're trying to be the perfect girlfriend, okay? So settling can go a little bit in there because you're performing. Settling can also go into overgiving. This is our behavioral chasing, so you're basically self-abandoning, and he's giving you nothing, breadcrumbs, and you're like just giving so much to the relationship. You're overgiving. It's not equal, right? And then I would say the other one, settling can also fall into our spiritual chasing. This is like you're just in la la land, fantasy land, right? So you're like romanticizing all of this, thinking, you're waiting, you're hoping, you're praying, you think all these things, okay? Also falls into our sixth archetype, which is the collapser. You're collapsing. So you want this, but you're collapsing down here. Okay, so let's go into it. So if you're listening to this, be aware that I talk with my hands and I'm showing a lot of things. And if you are watching it, well, welcome. What's up? When you're settling, what's happening? Let's go back to my notes here because I go all over the place. What's happening is you are meant to hold a vibration up here. The feminine leads in frequency. You're meant to be holding a vibration up here, okay? He comes in offering you something that is not entirely what you want. But because you have wounded parts of you, part of you that doesn't believe that he is going to step up for you, part of you that doesn't believe that you're worthy, part of you that's been consistently disappointed, part of you that, I don't know, needs to be compassionate towards men, part of you that wants to fix men. I don't know. Again, it's going to be so nuanced. You could be in front of me. Maybe I didn't name any of the examples. And let's say you're on our group call and I ask you straight up, why are you settling? Boom, you're going to tell me something that none of us have ever heard before because it's unique to you. It has to do with your own trauma, okay? So, and wounded fragmentation. So you're up here, he's down here. You are meant to receive. You are meant to be open and receive, which means you need to be up here. It's not like a hierarchy, like better than and things like that. I'm just showing like vibrationally, okay? These are your standards, you're here. He's meant to come and meet you. So he's meant to pursue you. He's meant to go on a little hero's journey to get you, okay? Maybe he's always dated women who are okay with Netflix and chill. And you're over here and you're like, I'm not super into that. I don't feel comfortable going to your house. I would prefer a walk or a coffee date. I actually do think that coffee dates for a first date are great. Why would you want to spend hours and hours on end with a man that you don't even know that you like? Have you ever been on a dinner date with a man that you within 5 minutes know you do not like in any way, shape, or form? Because if you have, you would be very, very down for a coffee date, because then at least if you really like him, it's fine. Coffee date ends. He'll ask you out again. If you don't like him, you grab your latte to go. Hey, it was really great meeting you. I don't feel anything here. This doesn't feel aligned. And you dip, okay? Respectfully, lovingly, kindly. People are human. Men need to be let down easily, okay? I hate that I even have to say that, but we should be kind, graceful, right? Graceful, kind. It's very sad, right? It's hard for men to approach us. It's hard for men to do these things. They have rejection wounds as well, right? They're human beings too, okay? Don't listen to all this stuff on TikTok. They are human. They have a heart. They have a soul. Part of the reason why men are the way that they are in the world right now is because women treat them like they don't. I have a son. I can tell you, he is a little sweetheart. That's his heart and his soul. This is not going to change and go away. Okay? So you're here. He's meant to go on a hero's journey, get on his horse, and come and meet you up here, pursuing you. So when you go down here, you're going into your masculine energy. You're no longer receiving. You're no longer in your worth. You're no longer in your feminine, and you're chasing him. Because what's happening is he is like, I can't meet you emotionally. Here's my example. Situationship. He is like, you're great, you're amazing, you're hot, definitely want to take you in bed with me, but I can't give you a relationship. Okay? This is why we don't give our bodies until there's a commitment. Unless you're okay with it, there's absolutely no judgment. However, a lot of you are not, and then you get in these really shitty situations trying to change a man. They don't change. They don't change. Look at who he is in the beginning. That's who he is, okay? So, let's say a man is presenting you with a situationship, and you want devotion, commitment, marriage. The only reason that you would go down there and tolerate that is because you're afraid of being alone. You put the connection above yourself. You're putting him, the man, you've got him on a pedestal. You're doing something above you, your heart, your desires, your needs. You're putting that. So you're chasing a connection. You're chasing safety. You're chasing closeness. You're chasing something. We're never chasing the man. We're chasing something that we think he's going to provide. Connection, companionship, stability, security, whatever it is that you think. This is why it's actually really hard to create genuine love with someone if you're both really wounded, because then you're just both using each other versus actually loving each other unconditionally, like wholly, truly, and then can actually both give and pour into each other the way that we're meant to be in a relationship, okay? It's not about taking from each other. So if you are looking for a man for security or connection, you're taking from him, right? You're chasing something. So when you're settling, when you're allowing yourself to be in a situationship, you are ultimately chasing because you're chasing him. Because believe me, if he was pursuing you, you would be sitting on your throne over here and you would let him come to you. Does this make sense? So it's not that you're asking for too much, it's that you might be asking the wrong man. Or you're being initiated and he's being initiated too, and you're being asked to hold this vibration, hold your needs, hold your desires, hold your frequency, and allow him and trust that he's going to come meet you up there. Because that is how the king is initiated. That is how men are initiated, okay? So when you lower your standards, your inner knowing, your truth, your desires, and all these things in hopes that maybe over time you're going to build something, or you come down here just to have that connection with him, you're in self-abandonment and you're chasing him, chasing whatever he can provide, okay? You're pursuing ultimately energetically. Now, when you're pursuing energetically, there's now no more space for him to pursue you because now you go into the masculine role. Now, on top of it, you're moving from these wounded parts of yourself. We go so deep into all of this in union, okay? But you're moving from wounded parts of yourself, empty parts. They're going to create emptiness externally, okay? Now, what's happening too is when you're settling is you are making yourself really small. You have a desire for marriage, for commitment, for a conscious relationship, for building an empire together, for children, whatever. This man is presenting you with a situationship or a relationship where he's deeply emotionally unavailable. What you're doing is you're shrinking your desires. You're shrinking what you truly want, right? So that you can, this is side chick stuff. This is what side chicks are, very small. They make themselves really small. A wife makes herself take up a lot of space. A wife wants you there for doctor's appointments, birthdays, this. That's a wife. She takes up space. Side chicks make themselves really small. Placeholders make themselves really small. Settling, you're making yourself really small. Okay, this is meant to hit deep so that you can wake up, okay? You're less expressive. You're not sharing what you truly want. All of these things just to keep this connection or whatever it is that you're chasing from him. So you're becoming this tiny and then you wonder why he's not fully choosing you. He can't see you. He can't see you when you're this little. You need to take up space. Be high maintenance. Be a princess. Be controlling. I don't know, not controlling, but like be yourself. Be bossy. Be yourself. Say what you want to say. Ask for what you want. Ask for your needs. If he doesn't want to meet them, let him go. Because you have yourself. You've chosen yourself. You are good on your own. And the way you're going to do that when you actually heal your stuff so that you can feel worthy and whole with or without the man, right? So you're meant to stay in alignment with your truth, your desires, how you want to feel. That's what we need to be doing. When you're in alignment with how you want to feel, when you're prioritizing how you want to feel, all of these things, he will do the same. It's like he responds to you, okay? Now, when you're settling, you're not asking him to rise. So ladies, when you settle, you allow men to play in these lower realms. And then we wonder why men are not, kings and writing letters. Well, they don't have to. They don't even have to send you a nice text. Just, like ILY. You're like, oh my God, he can't even spell I love you. And you're like, oh my God, okay? So the solution to all of this is that you have to be stronger than whatever it is that you think, like whatever those desires, their wounded desires are, those wounded needs are. You have to be stronger. Now you can fight and wrestle your way through these things to stop chasing and stop settling, or you can literally just come and work with me in union and learn to heal all these parts, and then boom, voila, ta-da, done. You can literally hold this very easily because you are now embodied in this, okay? But what we're trying to do is being in alignment with our wants, our desires, our needs, all these things, knowing that you're solid and good on your own, trusting that he's going to come and meet you, and then letting him come. But you're not waiting for him. You're not waiting around hoping, I hope he's going to come and climb my tower and rescue me. No, you're living your best life in your tower. Hopefully you're not even in a tower. You're doing your thing. You're living your life. You're not even bothered. What is he? He's where? Now he's in Timbuktu and he's on his horse and he's on his way. You don't even know. Because you're playing piano and you're reading your books and you're brushing your hair and you're doing your booty workouts and your kegels and your skincare and whatever it is. You're just doing you. You're not waiting, because waiting is also chasing, okay? I have a post about that that's almost at 1 million views right now. Waiting is also chasing. You need to be willing to hold these standards. You need to be willing to choose yourself above him, right? You need to chase yourself, pursue your wants, your desires, your standards, your needs. Those have to be first. You have to cherish those things. My last episode, all about boundaries, you want to go listen to that, okay? You have to be willing to cherish these things first. Then he's going to do that. Now, when you do this, this initiates him. It's an initiation for both of you. Because if you've been flailing around in this wounded energy and just tolerating less than you deserve, then guess what? Now's your initiation to rise into the queen that you're here to be. And then once you've risen into the queen, so you go first, you get initiated first into the queen, then he gets to rise as a king through you. He's birthed through you. You're birthing your man through your embodiment. That's how powerful you are, okay? So you need to know that your desires in your heart are there for a reason. And we talk about this all the time when you work with me, because your desires, like when women work with me, they also have to shift into their purpose, all these things, because I'll do a whole episode about it, okay? You have to be in alignment with all of it. Your purpose, how you're meant to dress, all of these different things, okay? You need to know that your desires, the desire that you have for a certain type of relationship in your heart, is a true desire. It's what's meant for you. So you have to hold on to those desires and know that it's possible, which means we might have to heal the beliefs that don't think it's possible that a man could ever be that, especially if you had a father who wasn't like that, or a stepdad, or you've had men who were never there for you. It's going to be challenging to shift these beliefs and finally believe, whoa, there could actually be a man to meet me. So right now, little homework I want you to do is go out in the world and actually find proof that men do rise, that men do show up, that men are emotionally available, commit, loyal, all kind, amazing partners. Find proof of that, okay? Start to show your unconscious mind, whoa, this is possible. I remember when I started doing this, I used to see really cute couples all the time. Like I remember one time I was in Mexico and this man was with his tiny little wife. They were both so tiny. And he was brushing her hair and holding her and kissing her all over her face. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so sweet. That is so beautiful. Look for proof of that rather than the opposite. Because believe me, our TikTok algorithm is constantly showing us cheating men and all these crazy nonsense things. No. There are loyal, beautiful, incredible men who want to rise, who want to take you on proper dates, who want to love you, who want to meet you emotionally, who want to care about you, pour into you, support you, raise babies with you, and all of those things. There are men that want that. Okay? So let's find examples of that out in the world. No more settling. Okay? Now let's say you're listening to this and you're like, I'm done settling. I'm done chasing. Send me a message on Instagram. Let's chat, because we got to nip this in the bud, and it involves healing this very deep, programming and likely trauma that has happened. And again, trauma doesn't have to be this crazy thing. Like, trauma can literally just be your mom and dad getting a divorce. Trauma could be you standing up in the 5th grade and all of the kids laughing at you. That's trauma. This stuff rocks us and shapes us, okay? These are the things that we heal when you're working with me in Union. So DM me on Instagram, Union, to chat with me to do this really deep work. But remember, the second that you start settling, you are chasing, nip it in the bud. You are worthy of your desires. You are worthy of being met. You are worthy of the love that you know in your heart that you are meant to have, okay? I love you. You're so beautiful. You're so amazing. And I love having you here.